Hey TMFG community, John Yonge here with Carlo. In today's episode of Ask TMFG, we're going to be discussing estate planning. So remember, if you do enjoy our content, like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We love doing these videos for you. In today's episode of Ask TMFG, we're going to be discussing estate planning. And primarily, why should you care? What should you do, I guess, in terms to get started with estate planning? So, Carlo, why don't you kick us off?
Thanks, John. Is it important to estate plan? I think so. You spend 40 years of your life working and accumulating wealth. When you're gone, what happens to that wealth? You want it to be used to help the next generation. How do you get that done? You have to plan. And in order to get that done, there are certain tools that you can have in place to have your instructions looked after to actually do what you want your wealth to do. The two most basic estate planning tools would be your will and your power of attorney. John, why don't you tell us what a will and the power of attorney, what they are and how do they differ?
Yeah, absolutely. So very similar. I mean, you're going to go to a lawyer and get both of those completed, likely around the same time, but two different values, I guess, that come out of these documents. A will is a bit more like instructions for when you pass, what is your executor supposed to do in order to disperse your wealth, in terms of listing a trustee to manage certain portions of your wealth, listing guardianship for young children. It's very much a checklist and instructions for what to do when you're gone. The power of attorney is a little bit different. So a power of attorney is a living document. So if you're still alive but unable to act on your own decisions, in regards to personal care or even some of your property or investments, you can actually list somebody that you trust to be able to act as your power of attorney.
So you mentioned an important point there. You named within the will an executor.
Yep.
The executor is the person that has the authority to act upon those instructions within your will. And with the power of attorney, you're naming an attorney or you're giving somebody the authorization to make decisions on your behalf, whether you're incapacitated or just unable to do so. And it's always important. We've gone through many wills and powers of attorney with our clients and saw many that didn't have a substitute. It's important to name a substitute for your existing executor or power of attorney in case something happens to your primary.
Yeah. And going back to, this whole estate planning process is just to either make your beneficiaries or your children or whoever it is, their lives a lot easier just in terms of that estate distribution, but also a lot cheaper as well. You can save quite a bit, and that kind of leads us to our next point. Is going to be around beneficiaries. Listing beneficiaries now bypasses probate and bypasses the Ontario courts, and it's available for certain accounts, like things like the RSP, the RIF, TFSAs, even life insurance policies. And through those products themselves, you can actually list who's going to receive those upon your passing. So it's much easier, I think, a lot more of a convenient process for the next generation to just have the money go directly to them, not having the courts get involved, because we know once the courts get involved, things take a little bit more time than they should.
Absolutely. And I think it's important that you make that process as simple as it can be for the people who are left behind. They're going to be dealing with a lot of emotional stress. If you can help add a process or make it easier for them, that's one of the gifts that you can leave behind. Now, there are a lot of other points to consider when it comes to estate planning. This is going to be more of a 2 or 3 part series for estate planning. There's just a lot to cover. So we'll end it there. In future videos, we'll be talking about probate fees. We'll be talking about the estate tax liability, strategies to minimize that. So that's all for today. As discussed before, if you do like our content, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us a comment. Let us know what you've put in place to help ease your estate planning process.
Yes, and let us know actually down in the comment section below if there's any questions around estates that you'd like for us to address in the next couple videos.
So until next time, I'm Carlo Cancino.
I'm John Yonge.
And this has been Ask TMFG.